right, everybody. This is Broad Talk. Welcome. I'm Alexis,
I'm Jamie.
and tonight we're going to be talking about Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Justin Gaethje for the UFC Undisputed Lightweight Championship at UFC 254. This is another great fight in a series of great fights coming up in October. We're really excited for this one. It's kind of your typical striker versus wrestler match. Gaethje also has credentials in wrestling, but he's a striker. And Khabib, what can we say about his wrestling? The best wrestler we've ever seen ever in the UFC and probably in MMA.
Yeah, absolutely. This is an exciting fight. Very interesting to see how these fighters react to each other in the octagon.
Yeah, and there's so many intangibles and so many X factors in this fight. You know, I think um, that the journeys for both guys to get here to this moment has been super different and super interesting. Gaethje came in as the undefeated action fighter against Michael Johnson. He immediately impressed everybody, not because he was skillful, but because the guy could put on a fight. It was
Yeah, he's an
exciting, man.
entertainer.
Yeah, he was an entertainer. He was out here getting hurt, throwing leg kicks like baseball bats and throwing backflips off the cage. And he was fighting against a contender at the time, and it was amazing to watch him fight. I thought it was this guy was going to be. I didn't think at the moment that maybe he won't be a champion because of his style, but I definitely thought he's going to be here for years, and he's going to be, you know, he's going to be an exciting addition to the lightweight division.
Yeah,
Khabib, he's been here for a while. He's fought a variety of guys. He's fought Gleison Tibau, pretty controversial fight, but I mean it was a long time ago for him. He fought Rafael dos Anjos. He beat Edson Barboza, Dustin Poirier, Ali Quinta, and probably his biggest win of all, Conor McGregor.
yeah,
All of these fights were dominant fights.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he just completely mauled every single guy. Even Ali Quinta, who he stood up with him, he was scoring against him. And Khabib looked great. Khabib has almost never looked bad in his UFC tenure. Other than the Gleison Tibau fight, where actually Tibau tested positive for steroids after the fight. That was the only fight where it seemed like, well, I mean, what does he have? But no, he's been flawless in his entire tenure. Gaethje, though, he's hit some bumps. The fight against Eddie Alvarez, exciting fight. Guys were going at it. He gets finished in the third with just a nasty knee. Um, it seemed like, well, he needs to control his pace, you know. And then he
Yeah,
fights Dustin Poirier, and same thing. He's having success. Poirier is landing. It's a great fight. He gets caught, and with a straight right, and it almost seems like it's because he's a bit too over aggressive. He's a bit overzealous sometimes. Um, and it seems like, well, Gaethje's going to be people were thinking he's a gatekeeper now. He's going to have guys who are going to reach that upper echelon. He's going to be that guy you have to fight. So they put him up against James Vick. He knocks him out in like 1 minute. Pretty great, great overhand right. He set him up beautifully. He did not let him escape. Then he fights Donald Cerrone, just obliterates him
yeah,
with his own counter. It was just a beautiful counter. Um, and then I'm trying to remember who he fought. I think I could see here. I think before he fought Ferguson, he fought. Yeah, no, it was Barboza first. Before Cerrone, where he knocked him out with an overhand. As Barboza was trying to move away, just throws a beautiful overhand right, clocks him. He's out. You're thinking, well, I mean, Gaethje's looking good. I mean, he's not going crazy. He's finishing guys quick because he's setting a pace, but it's more calculated. But you still think he's still the same guy. You know what I mean? He's still the same
yeah,
fighter
absolutely.
that just kind of he's gonna go in and out. And he's gonna throw it down. And then he fights Tony Ferguson, the who people feel it should be the rightful number one contender against Khabib. Never happens. All this crazy stuff, and now he fights Ferguson for the interim belt, and he blows him away. Other than the knockdown at the end of the second, Gaethje just completely demolishes, outclasses Tony Ferguson for over 5 rounds until it's just stopped. It's
The
a
best
brutal
technical
beatdown.
Justin Gaethje we've ever seen.
It was spectacular. He looked amazing. He was throwing hard shots the entire fight, and his coach was getting mad because he needing to save his energy. But Gaethje was throwing hard shots the whole fight. Hooks, straight rights, everything. It was just beautiful stuff. And he looked amazing. His footwork looked really good. He was moving smoothly. He wasn't plotting. He was throwing his leg kicks. He just looked good. He looked great. It was like a newly transformed Justin Gaethje. And now he gets a shot against Khabib, who is the perceived best UFC lightweight of all time.
Yes.
And it's a tough fight for both guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I want to hear your thoughts on the fight.
For this fight, man, this is such an unexpected fight, and this fight is so intriguing because there's so much questions and so much what ifs like about this fight. What could happen, you know? We already know Khabib's style, and I'm pretty sure we know what he's gonna try to do. For Justin Gaethje, we know his bread and butter, but we also know his credentials in the wrestling department. Which I have personally never seen them before, but I mean, he's got a pretty good. How do I say this?
He has a good experience from the amateur
Yeah,
levels and all that. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And but my questions are: what if Khabib takes him down, but he can't keep him down?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What happens if what happens if Justin Gaethje keeps this fight standing more than Khabib would like it to be? You know, like we've seen Khabib a stand up. I mean, it's decent, but it's not what Justin Gaethje brings to the table. You know,
Yeah.
but then the other side is like Khabib. You know, what if he takes him down and Justin can't get up? You know, I mean, Khabib is pretty damn dominant on the ground. So once he takes you down, I mean, his ground and pound, his work, the way he lays on you, I mean, it's pretty dominant.
Yeah. It's suffocating.
Yeah, I mean, I feel so undecided about this fight. I really don't know. I would give the edge to Khabib just a little bit. He's got a lot of momentum, you know. He's been so dominant for so long. And he's a champion, man. I mean, he's dominated every opponent that he's faced, you know. And even his stand up is pretty decent, you know. I think he's been able to stand up with the best fighters in the UFC, the lightweight division. That's what I mean, you know. But other than that, you know, I think that Khabib, you know, he's got the edge on this one, just for me because of his ground game, you know, his wrestling, you know, and but no, I wouldn't count Justin Gaethje. I mean, he can bang, and you know, he's also well known for wrestling as well. And I would like to see how he's able to defend the takedown. And if he gets taken down, if he's able to get up, those are the what ifs, you know. What if he can get up, you know, and
Yeah.
keep this fight and force this fight to stand up? And it would be very interesting to see.
Yeah.
That's my take.
Yeah. I mean, the perceived notion, and it's gotten to the point where you can't doubt Khabib anymore. You know, you can't say,
Yeah,
well, I
absolutely.
mean, the McGregor fight, well, I mean, McGregor's the best striker in the UFC. He can keep it up. He can win. He demolished. I mean, Poirier, same thing. You can't. It's just hard to doubt Khabib's abilities. No one's been able to stop it, and there's no reason to think anyone will. But Gaethje seems a different type of breed. He's a different style. Because his striking style is not at all. He's a world class striker. Don't get me wrong, but he already had got knocked out by Poirier, and McGregor's considered the supreme striker in the UFC. You know, he's considered in the upper echelon of those guys, like the Adesanya's of the world. And you know, Gaethje's, I mean, I would say he's great, but he's not at that level. At least, you know, maybe, I mean, he could be, but I mean, we haven't seen him against that type of striker yet.
I think he's knocking on that door, though.
Yeah, he's definitely like, yeah, he's getting up there. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, the grappling is the X factor in this fight. There's nothing else. That's the X
Yeah.
factor. I mean, just look at the numbers. I mean, look at that amount of takedowns Khabib has in 15 minutes. That's 5 takedowns a minute. That's insane. You know, he has a takedown on average almost. I mean, it's just insane. He has his accuracy doesn't matter because he's a chain wrestler. He's going to continue going for it. You know, it's all the pressure.
Yeah.
That's what matters. He gets the cage. He can take it down in the middle, but his specialty and his bread and butter is getting you into the cage, pressuring you, smothering you, trapping your legs, and smashing you and passing guard. He
Yeah.
doesn't even have to pass guard. You can do it from your full guard.
Yeah.
He overcomes the wrist control. He postures up beautifully, and he just gets you and he beats the living crap out of you. You know,
Yeah.
he's good. He's a great submission grappler too. He's shown the ability to put you out with a submission, a Kimura. He almost broke Michael Johnson's arm. He submitted Poirier with what was it, a rear naked choke, neck crank on Conor McGregor. He's insane. He's just an absolute monster down there. He's the boogeyman of grappling right now in the UFC.
Yeah.
So what does Gaethje have to do? Obviously, he has to move away. He has to use footwork. I mean, you can break it down as many times as you want. You could say, well, he can use a jab. He can use his leg kicks. His leg kicks can work, especially if he lands them early. You know, that's all wishful thinking. But at the end of the day, Khabib's not going to stop. So can Gaethje stop it? I don't know. And I'm going to have to go with no, not because I don't think he can, because he might be able to. For all I know, he could get taken down in the first, and for the rest of the fight, it's all stood up. And from there on, it's fair game for anybody. But I have no reason to believe that Khabib won't take him down. I've just seen too much domination from him to not think that. I'm rooting for Gaethje because he's one of my favorite fighters because of the way he's grown as more of a technical savvy type of power puncher, and he's become such a delight to watch, you know. And even though he beat one of my favorites in Tony Ferguson, he looked amazing. You couldn't doubt that guy anymore. He became the clear number 2. But Khabib, man, he's just taking out everybody. Poirier took him out. McGregor took him out. It's just all of these guys. They had their moments. Maybe they had little moments. Michael Johnson landed a shot. He didn't hurt Khabib that much, but he landed a shot. Had him awkward. McGregor had success and he took a round against Khabib pretty clearly, and he stuffed a couple of takedowns. And Poirier almost had him in that guillotine. It was close, but it was like those didn't feel like they didn't feel like at those moments that Khabib was the lesser fighter. It just felt like they caught him a little bit. Maybe against McGregor, it felt like he was losing the stand-up battle, but I never felt like Khabib was threatened, you know? It didn't feel like, oh, this fight's over. It felt more like, well, he's taking a breather because he was never any danger at all. You know, the Poirier he was, but it wasn't fluky, but you can tell that Khabib still had the fight after that. It was over. I mean, right after that, he finished Poirier, you know, and I just don't have any reason to believe that Khabib is not gonna do the same. I think he can, even if he's not able to keep Justin down, he might be able to tire him out and make the fight sloppy and then take out a decision and make, you know, Gaethje striking a little bit less efficient if he gets Gaethje tired and exhausted. We've seen him tired, so that could also be a possibility. And Khabib has a great gas tank, and he can take a round off and just come back the next. So I think Khabib's gonna take the fight. I don't think he'll finish Gaethje. I think Gaethje's too hard-headed, and I don't think he's gonna take that type of damage because he's only been finished when he takes way too much damage. But I don't think he's gonna take the kind of damage in this fight. He will take damage, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he'll be finished unless there's a submission. But I think he's savvy enough to get out of those, you know, those dangerous spots. But I just see Khabib winning.
Yeah, that's a good way to see it. I got Khabib too. I think he'll go unanimous decision, and he'll take the W. For me, I think he'll be able to take Gaethje, and he'll be stubborn to take him down no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just very curious to see how Justin Gaethje reacts and what his game plan is. Especially, this is a title fight, and I'm rooting for Gaethje too. You know, he's had a long road to come. You know, for a title fight. I personally didn't see him in a title fight anytime soon before the Tony Ferguson fight, but you know, here we are, and props to him. I'm wishing him the best, and I want to see a great fight. I think this is going to be a very interesting fight, in my opinion. I wanted to see Khabib versus Tony Ferguson, but something about this particular fight interests me even more.
Yeah, and it's because of the improvement of Gaethje. The way he looked,
Yeah,
you just thought, "Whoa, this guy's different. This guy is smooth." It almost felt like he was a smooth bomb. You know,
yeah,
it was explosive yet smooth. It was really, really good to see Gaethje like that. Props to him, like you said. He's grown so much as a fighter. He looks amazing now. Um,
yeah.
but
And
Khabib,
let's not forget, his corner is really decorated, and they
yeah,
have they have a great mindset down there, and I think they have. I'm pretty sure they're coming up with a great game plan to try to compete against Khabib. So
yeah.
I mean,
Trevor Whitman.
I would never doubt Justin Gage. Yeah, I mean, he's a great fighter, no doubt.
Yeah, yeah. And Trevor Whitman's going to come up with the best plan he can come up with. But, I mean, we'll see what happens. At the end, we're just going with the safer bet.
Yeah,
But don't doubt Justin Gaethje. I'm also going to say that Khabib, he's a great fighter. And I'm not saying I hate him or anything like that because I'm rooting for Gaethje. It's just it feels like Gaethje, it almost feels like we've grown with him. But, you know, props to both guys. This is an outstanding title fight, one of the best of the year. Another great one in a long road of great fights in combat sports. But yeah, Khabib by decision, and you got Khabib by decision too.
absolutely.
Well, then that's going to be the end of this breakdown, this prediction. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. We hope you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Your predictions as well. Comment your predictions. We like to discuss these fights. Make sure to tune in. It's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a great card. We're going to cover Robert Whittaker versus Jared Cannonier as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope y'all enjoy this content, and yeah, keep watching us. And we're gonna bring some more videos up. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys, and take it easy.
Take